What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite version of the handgun. We're going to be talking about a 1911 or 2011 platform, the Wilson Combat SFX9. Now, the Wilson Combat solid frame is the latest iteration of the EDC-X9 series that they've been putting out for quite a while. The EDC-X9 is Bill Wilson's version of the 2011, I guess, whereas this is kind of a departure from that altogether, because instead of a traditional 2011 where we'd have a slide, a frame, and then a grip, this is the solid frame series, so you have an all aluminum frame with a steel slide up top, which is very attractive for a lot of those guys who don't like polymer lowers. I get it, aluminum looks better, it's more durable, more reliable, and it can, in the right circumstances, offer a little bit more texture and grip as well. Now, the SFX9 is a premium gun, which we'll get to here in a minute, but it does come with a lot of options. Since it comes from Wilson Combat, you are capable of configuring any way you want. Now, before we go any further, I do want to mention Manning & Sons. My boy Manning over there sent me this gun for review. I can't thank him for that enough. Some of these guns are very expensive, so I really appreciate it when he sends me down these guns for review so I can kind of test them and compare them to regular guns. I also want to mention the page supporters. Thank you guys very much. You guys sponsored the ammunition for the video, so appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, it's the best way to do it. And there's also a link in the description below for a local shelter in Ames, Iowa, the YSS. I'd really appreciate if you go down to that link and click that as well. Now, the SFX9 comes out with a whole bunch of different barrel lengths. We got 5-inch, we got 4-inch, we got, I believe, 3 1/4, and then we have a couple of different frame lengths as well. You got the full size, the compact, and I believe they have an officer size. I'm not real sure about that, but there are a bunch of different sizes and configurations of this gun, and they do also take the EDC-X9 mags, which are a proven system. That's one thing I wanted to talk about as far as the 2011. People always discount the 2011 reliability, but the reality is that's in the past. That's kind of 2000s, 2010s. We're in the 2020s now, where 2011s are surprisingly reliable, this one included. We did 1,000 rounds through this gun with varying types of ammunition, and we only found one type of ammunition I didn't really like, and that was really lightly underpowered 115 grain remanufactured ammunition, which we had a couple of bobbles with, but everything else, all the factory ammunition, is absolutely reliable. These guns, as far as the accuracy department go, are guaranteed at 2 inches at 50 yards. Now, most people can't shoot that. I can't shoot 2 inches at 50 yards, so I couldn't test that. However, I did test the standing accuracy at 50 yards, and we were able to, on demand, hit 6-inch plates at 50 yards with remanufactured ammo from the standing position, making this one of, if not the most accurate carry guns that you can buy on the market. If you're unfamiliar with a 1911 battery of arms, this is a single action gun, just like a 1911, and unlike a 2011 or 1911, for the most part, it doesn't have a grip safety, which is the advantage of the solid frame, or it's the advantage of the EDC-X9 altogether. It kind of does away with the redundant safety systems of the 1911. We already have a manual safety. You already have a safety that you should count on all the time, your finger. Don't put your finger in the trigger finger until you're ready to fire. You also have another safety, which is your holster. People are like, I don't want to carry a gun without a safety. Well, guess what? You already have two, your holster and your finger. The third safety is going to be the manual safety. I have no need or desire for a fourth safety, so I'm glad that Wilson eliminated that. Now, another thing, that grip safety that most people love can actually be a detriment to you as well. If you do a lot of action shooting or offhand shooting, or a lot of weird positional shooting in particular, where you might not have a perfect grip on your firearm, so you might not engage that grip safety when you want to, and the gun might not go off when you want it to. I like to have perfect and total control of my firearm. I don't like to have anything that could or should happen. I like things to happen as I want them to happen all the time, so the consistency of not having that is a big plus for me. Speaking of safeties, a Wilson Combat Safety is absolutely among the best. They're Bulletproof Safety. I've actually put that on guns that are not Wilson Combats. Love that. Very tactile, very, very useful. The problem is with the solid frame design, it sort of looks like it's made for an offset safety there, and since mine only has the strong side safety, it looks a bit empty over there, to be honest with you, but you can feel free and put one on yourself. You can get them on their website. This one has the 4-inch barrel, which is pretty ballistically capable. We have a bull barrel there, which is fluted, which looks unbelievably awesome with the reverse set crown. Ooh, that Wilson Combat goodness. We have a blacked out rear with a fiber optic front. They're raised suppressor sights for the would-be RMR, which was on there during the entire course of the filming. I just recently took it off there to use as a backup gun for my AR for a 3-gun situation, and I needed one real quick. That being said, not much of an issue issue. Now, one of the issues that we did find on this gun, and I wish I didn't, but I did in fact find it, is we did have one of the screws in the optics mount during the actual shooting, it broke. And you can see there that we're missing a screw head on top. The screw's still in there, but half the screw head broke off and it fell out when I took the optic off. It was sent to me with the mount on already. I did put the optic on, but you can see I only screwed in the 2 optic screws right there. It had nothing to do with that. I don't think that I could have in any way inadvertently caused that. That being said, it did happen. Still 3 other screws. Wow, talk about talk about securing down an optic plate. Most optic plates only have 2 screws. This one comes with 4, but 1 did break. Data point, I'm not sure how much it matters, but it happened. Now we've got the X-Tech pattern on the gun with the front serrations, which are extremely usable due to the tri-top design. I like that a lot because when you put an optic on the back, it's kind of hard to come back and get that. A lot of people say there's nothing that can happen when you hit your optic. Well, there is a lot of things that can happen when you hit your optic. You could set it off 0. If you have a cheaper optic, you could break the optic. Worst case scenario, I guess, best case scenario, you kind of hurt your hand a little bit and deal with it. But it's nice to have the front serrations because it's honestly a little bit quicker anyway. You come up here, pinch the gun, and go. So I like that. We have the awesome Wilson Combat pad for your trigger finger here. It's a wide pad and it's also whatever length that you want. They make these so you can get them ordered in whatever color, length, or pad type that you want. You also can get the gun in whatever color you want as well. This is a 2-tone with the gray and black finish, and I believe it's a DLC finish because we beat the crap out of this gun and there is almost no scratches on it at all. We only have 1 right there that I know I did with my holster. So pretty reliable, durable gun, lightweight. It only comes in at 26 ounces fully loaded with a magazine capacity of 15 rounds plus 1. So it is on par with not only the size, but the weight of the Glock 19 while coming out with a much better trigger, much faster, much more accurate, and you're gonna have a better grip as well, and you're also gonna have an aluminum grip, which is overall, in my opinion at least, more sexy, but in most people's opinion, more durable. What are you gonna pay for that? Well, you're gonna pay a lot for that because nothing's for free, sadly. And this gun comes in somewhere between $25,000 and $3,000, depending on what options you put on it, where you get it, that kind of thing. It is a lot more money and it is a lot more effort to kind of get one of these than it is to go to your standard gun shop and get a Glock 19. So I don't think it's a real good gun for your first gun, but I do think it's a good gun for a guy that is looking for the best in his particular class. If you want the best speed and accuracy that a carry gun has to offer, this might not be absolutely the best, but it certainly is tied. This is right in there with the Staccato, right in there with the EDC X9, maybe a little bit under the Atlas Aries. You took this across the board and gave this to every Glock shooter that you know. In less than a box of ammo, I think they're gonna be shooting faster and more accurately with this. That's my personal experience that I've had with a lot of new shooters, a lot of people that have come over to train or just to hang out or shoot out here. Whether you like the 1911 battery of arms or not, a 2-pound trigger is always gonna be easier to use than a 6-pound trigger. And that's an advertised Glock trigger. I've had Glock triggers in the area of 7 to 10 pounds in some cases. So you're just gonna have less problems with the interface with you with the gun. On top of that, you're gonna have more mechanical accuracy and you're gonna have lower overall recoil impulse. A lot of advantages to the gun, one huge disadvantage, that's the price. Is it worth it to you? That's a question that you can only answer yourself. Is it worth it to me? Yeah, it's worth it to me. But am I a big 2011 fanboy? Yeah, I am. But hey, what works, works. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.